They're on tropical islands. I heard about the sky blue waters, the buried treasures and pirates. I heard all the famous stories, from comic books to mystery. But sometimes the type of gets boring, and I need some sex to set me free. So I took a pen and wrote a series. It's called Company Meets the Lonely. The scene opens up with me in my bedroom. You taking your clothes off as I begin to kiss you. No, till you get excited. No, how you do it again. Now I've flown all of the finest jet planes, landed in some of the livest cities, tossed money at the stripper dancers, all because they show they tickle bitties. Now I've stepped out the most expensive car, from Lamborghinis to stretch it me, but material things just don't get me high. Sometimes I need some sex to set me free. Gonna need an actress to play her part in Company Meets the Lonely. Money in my bed, yeah. Taking your clothes off as I begin to kiss you. No, till you get excited. No, how to do it again. The scene opens up, money in my bed, me. You taking your clothes off as I begin to kiss you. No, till you get excited. No, how to do it again. Opens up with me in my bedroom. You taking your clothes off as I begin to kiss you. No, till you get excited. No, how to do it again. The scene opens up with me in my bedroom. You taking your clothes off as I begin to kiss you. No, till you get excited. No, how to do it again. The scene opens up with me in my bedroom. You taking your clothes off as I begin to kiss you. No, till you get excited. No, how to do it again. The scene opens up.
When the beat say go, there you go again, that voice is watch you make your girlfriend go. Come on, come on, come on. You've been waiting patiently, wondering when and where I be. After causing ruckus in the industry, making this so she can't sleep.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Y'all see the title. How did the media help R.Kelly? Let's talk about it. So, we've been hearing a lot of things going on in the media, and we've been wondering, like, is he going to get a fair trial? Is Ann Donnelly going to play fair when it comes to him? And you know, there's so many things that we were wondering. But first, I want to say hello to everybody that's here. Dream Team, love y'all. How is everybody? If I forgot to thank people from donating at the last live, I want to say I totally apologize. My mind was going like 1,000 things. There's some things I didn't even play that I had in mind to play, lined up to play. But y'all gonna hear it today. I want to thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. Thank y'all so much. Here it is.
This is democracy.
Okay. So there it is. All right. So we're going to listen to some things and we're going to hear some things. And if you want to donate to this channel, you can donate via the super chat at the bottom of the page or at the top of the live chat. At the top of the live chat page, you can hit my Cash App, which is $ official DanaJay, or if you want to just throw a tip my way or just want to tip me or whatever, you can hit the link at the top of the live chat, but I have the HTTPS. It's called the tip jar. You go ahead and hit that link and follow the prompts and and donate whatever you feel as though that you want to donate. All right. Other than that, we going back into it. Hey, Angela Reese, Tyree, what's going on? Somebody hit Sky Zone and tell Sky Zone I'm back on, cause I don't want her to miss this. We got some things to talk about. We got some things to talk about. We got some things to talk about. I'm going to give some people some time to come in. I'm at 51. I got 2 dislikes. Oh, man. For the people that dislike me, I was hoping I didn't have to do it, but I'm sorry that you dislike me, okay? I know that's what your insides is doing right now. They're like, oh my God, he's back on. He's speaking the truth. He's going to break it down. Oh my God, I can't lie. Yeah. Hey, Nell Taylor. Hey, the one. LaTonya Ferguson, what's going on? Tidy Talk, Miss B. Inside Pink. Coretta. You better go get that Xbox. I'm telling y'all now, man. Mike Jones, what's up? Mike Jones. Boss lady, hey. I'm telling y'all now, fellas. If you really want to mellow out and you don't got nothing to do the rest of the week, go ahead and pre-order the Madden 22 MVP or GOAT edition right now. So that way you'll be able to play it tonight at midnight instead of waiting all the way to Friday. Ladies, if y'all in the doghouse or if y'all just want to do something special for y'all man out the blue, go get the MVP edition or the GOAT edition of Madden 22 for him. So that way he can download it at midnight tonight and he can play it tonight and he can set everything up while I guess while everybody waiting until Friday, he'll have 3 days ahead to set his team up and this and this and this and this. I'm telling y'all, look, if you're on PS5 or Xbox, they doing the same thing. But it have to be the MVP or the GOAT edition. Just want to let y'all know that. Ladies, if somebody's birthday, if y'all want to surprise somebody, if y'all want to look, y'all get together or whatever, or if you're in a doghouse, or you want to do something special for them, you go ahead and do that. J-Rock, what's up? What's up? Oh, man, but don't worry about it. Look, I need somebody to hit Sky Zone and tell Sky Zone I'm back on because I don't want her to miss nothing. Because I seen when I was going off, she was like, oh, man, I just got the notification. No, I want her to know. I want Sky Zone to be here. Somebody hit Sky Zone and say, Sky Zone Dana is on. I want her to be here. And baby, it's on tonight. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Hold on, let me send these notifications out before I get started. Baby, I've been thinking. Something is going on, but I got an attitude. And the more in the mood, I don't know why I got Dave House in my head. I got Dave House in my head for real. I don't know why. Like, what am I thinking about? And I'm already in the mood. I don't wanna lose your love. Don't wanna lose. Hey. I don't know why I got it in my head, man. My mind just going right now. True love is so hard to find. Right between your lips and mine. And mine. Before I let you go. Oh, yeah. And I get a bit. Oh, shoot. Let's see. Where's Sky's on? Sky's on here? Hey, let me hit Sky. Before I... Alright. I just sent Sky the link. Yo, the funny thing is when you can sing off key and it still sound good. That's crazy. When you can sing off key and it still sound good, you be like, ooh, I sound a mess. But hey. I was off key, off note, off everything. Let's see, 66. Okay, let's get it in. Let's go. I just text Sky. Alright, let's go. Yeah. Alright. We're going to go on the topic of how the media helped R.Kelly. Some things I want to know. Because I want to know how the media helped R.Kelly. No. Okay. Some stuff was sent to me that I'm going to use. Okay. True love is so hard to find. Right between you and mine. Alright. I don't know where Sky is. I just texted. I don't know. So, I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to buy a little time. Don't forget, if you want to go to some channels that make sense, I miss you too, child. If you want to go to some channels that make sense, go to Sky Zone channel. Go to Prima Donna channel. Go to Senator Sane channel. Go to Levi for Kelly channel. I know y'all gonna stop past here and holler at your boy. Chris Starr, what's up, bro? Don't forget, go to Brooks channel. Also stop past, go to Georgia Girl channel. Go to Fantasia channel. I'm missing somebody. I hate that feeling when I'm missing somebody. Alright. It'll come back to me. That's it, Willie. Sky Zone channel right there. Yeah. Oh, Miss Lady T. And she want me to say her channel so bad. Please go to Miss Lady T channel, y'all. I don't know what she be doing over there, but go to Miss Lady T channel, okay? Please go to Miss Lady T channel. What's going on? My guy, what up, Jermaine? What up, guy? Oh, don't forget, go to the Bolski Guns channel. I knew I was forgetting somebody. Thank you, Lady G, for that. I got so much going through my head. Don't forget, go to the Bull. Oh, see, it's coming in. That's it. Big Vi. Don't forget the Big Vi Opinion channel. That's a man with an opinion. So go to his channel. He gonna spark your interest on some things. He gonna have you looking like, this is good. No drama, no nothing. We all like-minded. We just want to get the message out. All right? And if you decide that you want to help, also don't forget Passionately Gangster and Lowdown channel. I forgot all about that. I forgot about the gangster from the passion and the passion from the gangster, along with the Lowdown one. I forgot. Love you back, bro. I forgot about that. So go to those channels. No drama. We bring nothing but facts. Y'all see my new logo. I'm just trying it out. Y'all see it. It clearly says, let me show y'all the new logo. Let me see if y'all can. Oh, no. Oops. Ooh, no. Y'all don't want that big. Y'all like, I don't want that dude up on that screen like that. Hold on. Wrong button. Wrong button. Wrong button. Hold on. Wrong button. Hold on. I'm trying to make it so, well, anyway. Y'all get the point. Y'all get the point. I'm going to just show y'all real quick what it look like. Here you go. Y'all see the logo? That's what it look like. Got it. I was thinking about taking the feathers out, but I said, nah, I'm going to leave the feathers in. So just giving y'all a little bit of what it look like. All right. That's what it look like. All right. So Willie is putting the people chats and the he putting their channels in the chat room. Ms. Visby, that's right. DanaJay Open Talks. Don't forget about that. But I'm here on my main channel and I'm operating, baby. I'm operating. So, and we're going to talk about how the media helped R.Kelly. Let's talk about it. I'm saying to myself, how did the media help R.Kelly? I think y'all trying to play with my emotions. See, just like y'all trying to say y'all trying to help R.Kelly, but y'all keep trying to hurt him, and then y'all playing with my emotions. I ain't scared of you, none of you sucker mother. So like, yeah, but yeah, I think they trying to play with emotions. So, Dana, why do you say that? Well, let's listen to what they said about surviving R.Kelly. Listen.
DemocracyNow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We end today's show with the shocking Lifetime 6-part documentary series called Surviving R.Kelly. The series, which aired over 3 nights this past weekend, chronicles 2 decades of allegations of sexual assault and misconduct against the celebrated R&B singer-producer R.Kelly. This is a part of the trailer for the series.
There's a difference between R.Kelly and Robert. R.Kelly's this fun, laughing, loving guy. But Robert is the devil.
R.Kelly is at the top of the charts, but he may be in for a fall. He was arrested today on 21 counts of child pornography.
Kelly is accused of videotaping himself having sex with an underage girl.
Taking advantage of minors will not be tolerated.
Jurors found him not guilty on all charges.
Robert has said all along he would be cleared of these terrible charges.
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Milk R. Kelly! Milk R. Kelly!
That was the trailer for the documentary series Surviving R. Kelly. R. Kelly has been accused of abuse, predatory behavior, pedophilia throughout his career. But despite damning evidence and multiple witnesses, he's been able to avoid criminal conviction. Kelly married the late singer Aaliyah in 1994 when she was just 15. He was 27.
Already, you heard 12 lies. 12 lies. Already, you have heard 12 lies. Let's finish.
The couple denied the marriage took place. It was later annulled. In 2002, Kelly was indicted for possession of child pornography after a tape surfaced that appeared to show him having sex with a teenage girl. A jury found him not guilty in 2008 after deciding they could not identify the girl. For many years, Kelly reached out-of-court settlements with women who accused him of abuse, some who signed non-disclosure agreements that kept them from speaking out about the allegations. However, after a 2017 BuzzFeed article reported R. Kelly is keeping women against their will in an abusive cult, survivors and parents of victims have come forward with new allegations about his sexual, mental, and physical abuse. This is Angelo and Alice Clary, parents of Asriel Clary, who met R. Kelly when she was 17.
The way they had the exit was through the back. So during that time, we was waiting, kind of getting a little nervous. Went to the corner where the VIP was, and then that's where she exited at, from the back side of the stage. He told us that he asked her to hear us sing. He liked it, so he gave her a number to contact him.
Asriel was in the 11th grade. We didn't find out right away, but she was secretly, I guess, calling him and texting him and talking to him on the phone. One day, the time that she's supposed to be home,
We didn't find out, and we didn't know. But I guess she was secretly calling and texting him. Alice, once you said I guess, that turns your statement into a question. The question is, was he talking to her or was he not? Did he instrument the calls or did she? Were they even calls at all or were they not? Let's finish.
I called and she wasn't home yet. Finally, we get a phone call. She finally called me and said, "Oh, I'm at a hotel in Kissimmee meeting with R. Kelly." How and why, did this happen?
How and why did this happen? But before the how and the why did this happen, you said she called you and said she's at a hotel in Kissimmee, Florida, and she's meeting with R. Kelly. Immediately, you take a victim stance. How? Why? Let's backtrack. Didn't y'all take Asriel to see R. Kelly on a time that she had a trauma in her life? Didn't y'all put Asriel on the stage? That part was always foggy to me because I heard both sides of the story. Rob said that you put Asriel on the stage, or you had your boy put her on the stage. That's what he said. And y'all never gave a clear-cut, definite answer about it, so I don't know. Anywho, she had a trauma in her life, and y'all took her to a mega concert, a 3-day concert in Florida. Friday night, it was Trey Songz opening. Saturday night, it was Chris Brown in the middle part. Sunday, closing, it was R.Kelly. Now, you couldn't take your daughters to see Trey Songz or Chris Brown, but you took her to see R.Kelly. Which now I have to get into my intellectual thinking. Why would you take your daughter to see R.Kelly and not Trey Songz and Chris Brown if it wasn't an ulterior motive? Something that I always ask everybody, including Angela. At the end of the day, everybody can point the finger and say, Robert's a pedophile, Robert's nasty, Robert's this, Robert's that. But you can never negate that if y'all never took your daughter, who was of age, to see Robert, we wouldn't have been having this to talk about. Robert didn't come looking for Azriel. The Clarys went looking for Robert with Azriel. It's a difference. So you can't sit back and say, oh, it's Robert's fault. Because when you look at the details in hand, Azriel didn't leave with Robert. Azriel left with somebody else. So when you talk about it, and I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to, by her got to take the stand, I don't want it to be swayed that I said anything wrong. I don't want to add no fluff, and I don't want to take no filler. I just want it to be a straight Baltimore crab cake. And I can't tell nobody how to parent, because everybody would do something different. Everybody say they would do this and they would do that until they face with that decision. If my Journey, or if my Kiana, or if my Marlon, or if my Christian was to have an episode and almost take their life, I wish the ham sandwich, turkey classic, bacon, lettuce, tomato, they would ask me or say they want to go to a concert. No, you sit your assets right there and we going to talk. Why don't you want to live? That's going to be the concert. I'm going to be the opening act. I'm going to be the halftime party. I'm going to be the intermission, and I'm going to be the closing act. At 17 and 9 months, you don't run no show in my house. Heck, at 30, you ain't running no show in my house. That's why they said mama may have and papa may have, but God bless the child that got his own. That way you can run your own show in your house. But while I'm providing for you, guess what? You're going to run by the rules in my house. That's the way I was raised. My mama told me if I didn't like her rules, get the HE double hockey sticks out. At 15, I got out. At 15, I got out. I came back 16 and a half. At 17 to 21, I was homeless. Because I ain't want to sell drugs no more. At that point, I had holes in me. Here and in my leg. And I didn't want to face that gun no more. So I started doing what I wanted to do. I started robbing. I started stealing. I did all that, and I went through all that, so my kids won't gotta go. So my kids don't gotta go through none of that. But one thing for sure, two things for certain. And these days and times, when you're raising teenagers, you cannot raise them as your friend. It's okay to have friendly gestures and talks with them because you want to be open. And you want your conversation lines to be open for them to talk about anything. However, there comes a time when you got to be a parent and put your foot square up in somebody's assets. There's no way my oldest daughter's 13. So from 13 to 19, I wish a person would come on any type of social media and say they know for a fact my daughter is taking it in both of her holes. When I heard that on Bedbug Channel, it scared me. I ain't gonna lie to you. It scared me. Because I'm saying to myself, the guy Bobby, he's just flowing. He don't care. But you talking about somebody's kid. Even though she a public figure, that's still somebody's baby. And when you giving a demographic detail like that, that lets me know that one or two things. Either you seen it or you been there. And at that point, I'm coming to see you. I'm coming to see you. Because you on YouTube talking about my daughter and doing this and doing that. So either you seen it or you been there. I hope it'll be neither one. But by the time I get to you, you want to tell me something. And it's not what I want to hear. So at that point, I'm looking at this. Was Azriel experienced or was she innocent as they trying to portray it? Let's look at it. Was any of these so-called victims innocent before they got to Robert? Or were they experienced actors? See, people thought I was going to start bash. Oh, that mother, blah, blah, blah. No. I don't want to do all that because I want people to hear the message. And the message in this is this right here. Experience is the best teacher. So if Angelo Clary was here, I would ask a question. What did you learn from this experience? Because he had grandkids. And he might have to do this cycle again. So what did you learn from this experience that you would do different? Because I got a question. You claim he's a pedophile. You claim he's gay. You claim this and that. But your daughter professed she loved him. So is it safe to say that your daughter loved an alleged pedophile that never showed her pedophilia tendencies? A pedophile can't turn it on and turn it off. It has to be consistent. And if you trying to tell me that Rob only showed pedophilia tendencies only around certain people, I got to call you a liar. Because medically, your brain ain't going to let you turn it on and off. That's not an illness that you can clap on or clap off. That's an illness that goes no matter what. Ask Josh Duggar. He's a pedophile. And he tell you, he know he a pedophile. He raped his 2 youngest sisters, and he had sex with his 2 youngest daughters, which is 5 and 2. And he told the judge, I can't turn it off. Y'all won't help me. I need help. Y'all won't. So now you're telling me that R. Kelly is what Josh Duggar is? Make it make sense. And then I'm reminded of a video when Larry said, yo, we could have saved the studio and cut all these charges. But that's all he had to do is make an album. And we would have gave him $250,000. So y'all would have gave him $250,000. Y'all would have saved the studio, and no charges would have came. All he had to do was cut an album with Azriel. Makes sense. I'm gonna tell you why. Surviving R. Kelly was in production a year and a half before it came out. Lifetime couldn't go forth because they didn't have nobody that looked young enough. Uh-oh. They didn't have nobody that looked young enough. So you go get Azriel. Because if you look at her now, she still looks like she's 15. So, because a man loves all women, he loves all women. Y'all gonna hold that against him? Because he loves all women and because he can get anybody that he wants? And if a man will say yes to that, that shows me red flags about your insecurity about yourself. Just because you can't get anybody that you want and they drop their panties at the drop of a dime, don't make up nothing on that man that can have anybody he wants. These are the conversations that's going to come up in court. These are the conversations that Geronda don't want to have. Because Geronda said R. Kelly took her virginity. But I believe that you was on the Robert Irvine show. And you said that you used to sell your body to take care of your child. I do believe you put in your book, your uncle used to rape you repeatedly. But you jump over the gate. No. First, they took your phone at Robert's house. You jump over the gate. You go to your same uncle house that raped you repeatedly. You get some shoes and you come back to Robert's house. But Robert treated you so bad. Okay? And if you want to tell me that that's what you believe, because that's what you put, I'm going to tell you I got some oceanfront property in Idaho that I want to sell you. So let's finish listening to this.
I was really shocked.
That was from the documentary series Surviving R. Kelly, and we'll be speaking with Angelo Clary in Las Vegas in a moment. The series will re-air in its entirety on Lifetime on Friday, January 11th. Well, for more, we are going to Arnike Odiele, co-founder of Mute R. Kelly, a campaign to end R. Kelly's music career, and an Atlanta-based arts administrator who is also featured in this documentary.
Bill Cunningham is Robert Irvine. That's the same person. He just revamped his name. So, Mute R. Kelly. Their whole purpose, now watch this. Their whole purpose was not to help alleged victims, but to mute the music of the man that both of them tried to holler at. I'm going to say it again. Mute R.Kelly. The purpose was not to help the alleged victims, aka accusers, but their whole goal was to mute the music of R. Kelly. Well, let me help you with something. You will never be able to mute R. Kelly, especially as long as I'm living. I will do an everyday live blasting his music and won't care. But since you tried that, his streams went up, 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 up. Now, the media, they claiming the media helped R. Kelly. So let's finish listening.
R.Kelly, welcome to Democracy Now! This series is just heartrending, horrifying. Talk for people who aren't so familiar with R. Kelly. Tell us who he is and when the allegations started surfacing, why you're so deeply concerned about him and have really co-founded a movement against him.
Well, R. Kelly is a internationally recognized singer, songwriter, producer who's had a number of hits over the last couple of decades that have cemented him in a lot of people's mind as the king of R&B. He is beloved in the African American community for some of the more inspiring and uplifting songs that he's written, like I Believe I Can Fly and Step in the Name of Love. I mean, those are staple songs at African American weddings and graduations, and so he's very steeped in culture.
Let's stop right there. African American weddings. First of all, you can't speak if you don't know your standing. Nobody is African and American unless their daddy is American and their mom is African, or their mom is African and their dad is American and they made a baby and had that person. Nobody else is African American. But let's finish.
Sure. I first heard the allegations
R.Kelly, short for Robert
14,
Kelly.
15, around Aaliyah's age about that marriage. And I can remember, thinking that was outrageous from, a kid's point of view. And then many years passed.
She said, let's go here.
Culture. I first heard the allegations
R.Kelly, short for Robert
14,
Kelly.
15, around Aaliyah's age about that marriage. And I can remember, thinking that was outrageous from, a kid's point of view.
She said she thought it was outrageous from a kid's point of view about that marriage, right? So, what marriage are you talking about? Because her uncle clearly says Jomo Hankerson quietly exposes that R. Kelly and Aaliyah were never married. And he put emphasis on never. It was for record sales, and Daryl McDavid and Barry Hankerson had a fake marriage certificate made and used it for underage girl blackmail on R. Kelly. Use your common sense. So, what marriage again? But let's finish.
And then many years passed, and I didn't hear anything else really, going on with my life, go to college, just wrapped up in other circles. And so hadn't heard anything else until June, I believe it was, of 2017, when the allegations came out about what the media was calling sex cults in his home in Johns Creek, which is right outside of Atlanta. And at the time, I was sitting in my office, and I, heard this on the news, and I just did a Google search. I was like, what is this? I haven't heard anything about R. Kelly in years. And when I did that Google search, I found article after article after article after article about all the allegations, all the court cases that had come up since Aaliyah. We're talking about 25 years worth of women coming out and saying that this person abused me.
Time out. Miss Diva said, oh, she's lying. Because back then, that was the culture. We all dated older guys in the 90s. Wow. Let's finish.
This person is violent. They started a sexual relationship with me when I was underage, and they were asking for the community's help and were being largely ignored. And I just became incensed. I mean, I really just sat at my desk in my office, fuming, like, you know, how dare we let this go on for 25 years at the expense of dozens upon dozens of young black women. So I didn't know what to do. I'm not an activist by any kind of training, but I just was like, you know, I'm just going to start a petition, a really humble petition, to try to get him off of Atlanta radio. Atlanta especially cannot afford to support child molesters. We have a huge child sex trafficking problem in Atlanta. And I just was like, we just can't. We all know this to be true, regardless of the fact that we have to say alleged in front of all of these accusations. Everybody saw that tape of him sexually degrading a 14-year-old girl. Regardless of whether or not he was convicted, 21 video instances of him self-engaged in sex with underage girls were removed from his home. We all know he forged documents to marry a 15-year-old Aaliyah, who he had been mentoring since...
Wait! What did she just say?
Saw that tape of him sexually degrading a 14-year-old girl. Regardless of whether or not he was convicted, 21 video instances of him self-engaged in sex with underage girls were removed from his home. We all know he forged documents to marry a 15-year-old Aaliyah, who he had been mentoring since she was 12.
Time out. Did that story sound familiar? Ain't that the same story that Bedbug and Don Russell and the Warriors and them run with and say, I forged documents? Ain't that the same story that some of them other folks over there that said or tried to allude to that Dana forged documents? So now Dana and R.Kelly forged documents? I told y'all I'm going to break it up.
So we know what this man is about, and we as a community need to say, even if we can't put him in jail, we're not going to give him our money anymore. We're not going to financially support the lifestyle that we know that he's living. And so I started that petition, and then Kenyette Tisha Barnes reached out to me when she saw me on the news and said, I have got to help. I've been doing this work, and I want to help. And the two of us formed Meet R.Kelly and decided that not only were we going to try to get him off the radio, but we were going to try to get his concerts canceled. And we were going to try to get him off of streaming. We were going to make it impossible for other artists to want to work with him. We were going to cut off the money at every turn that we could, because it's really his money that is insulating him from the consequences of his crimes.
Wait! Don't that sound like everything they tried to do to me on YouTube? They tried to isolate me from Rob. They tried to isolate me from his friends. But they tried to isolate me from YouTube. They tried to cancel me off of YouTube. But they tried to play with my money when they got me fired from my job. And they got me, they played with my home when they got me to the point where I lost my home. Don't this sound familiar? So, they take the playbook from Mute R.Kelly and they try to do me and Dubosky the same way. I told you I'm going to break it all up. Let's finish.
And so if you stop the money, you stop his ability to hide. And so that's where Meet R.Kelly was born.
I want to go to another clip from the docuseries Surviving R. Kelly. This is survivor Lisa Van Allen, followed by singer and former R. Kelly protege Sparkle. Sparkle's niece is allegedly the 14-year-old.
Nope, I'm going to stop there because I'm going to use this every day and I'm going to come back with a whole nother breakdown with each and every last person. So I'm going to stop that right there, right? Now, I'm going to fast forward it.
And they
He had
really brave for coming out on this documentary and telling their most humiliating, degrading.
I've seen his daughter in almost 4 years. Angela, thanks so much. Daughter with hopes of advancing her music career.
Street women. So I don't judge any of these women for taking money for their silence. I don't know that I would be able to put myself in their position. And they're extremely brave for coming out on this documentary and telling their most humiliating, degrading, moment of their life to the entire world. I don't know many of us who would want to do that.
I want to bring Angela Clary into this discussion, the father of Ezriel Clary, who met R.Kelly at the age of 17, moved in with him with hopes of advancing her music career. He hasn't seen his daughter in almost 4 years.
And we found out that was a lie via presidents.
Angela, thanks so much for joining us from Las Vegas. Can you talk about what has happened to Ezriel, what you understand took place?
Yes, I think the situation with Ezriel was more of a personal situation that the world don't really know about. There was a lot going on with Ezriel prior to meeting R.Kelly, and that's what led up to her being able to go to the show with us and had to be at the show with us for her to even attend the show. Moving right in, she never moved right in. We had a open conversation with R. Kelly after the event that took place, and he gave her his phone number, and they started talking, I think on a Sunday.
Time out. She attended the she attended the event with y'all. How was he able to give her his number with y'all being right there? How was he able to give her his number with y'all right there? And we all know that Robert don't give nobody the number. Something don't sound right, but let's finish.
To each other. And on that Sunday, we had no idea that they was texting and already starting a relationship.
Wait. He gave Ezriel his number in front of y'all. So on that Sunday, y'all had no idea that they were talking. Let me say it again. R. Kelly gave Ezriel his number in front of y'all. But on that Sunday, y'all had no idea that they were talking and starting a relationship.
See, the devil busy. See, the devil won't act stupid. But he got top of See, the devil busy. See, the devil won't act stupid. But he got top of
Okay. Let's finish.
That Monday, she's supposed to have been in school, and then she wound up not being in class. So when we called, she drive to school. She always drove through high school, so she was didn't report home at the right time. So I think my wife called, and then she called me and told me that Ez wasn't home. So I called my son, who also went to school, and that's how we figured out she wasn't at school. We found out she left school early, and then we blew up her phone. Just kept calling. No answer. When we finally got our answer from her phone, she sent the mother a text and said she had a audition with R. Kelly. She had to leave school. She had to go over there and meet with him. So we was like baffled. So she told my wife that. My wife called me and said, hey, she at the hotel with R.Kelly, we need to get there. I leave work, she leave work. We wind up meeting at the hotel in Kissimmee, Florida, where we see his tour bus, my daughter's car. We go in there, went to the registration, asked them for R.Kelly. Nobody knew that where he was, or he was under that name, and they don't have a celebrity here. You know, they have to protect the celebrity, so we understood that. So we went in and started going door to door. Security was called, police was called for us disturbing the hotel. The security finally went up and found our daughter, went door to door, pulled the rooms. He had like a top floor with about 7-8 rooms.
Time out. So the police was called on y'all for disturbing the peace, but then security went and found your daughter?
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
And they found him and my daughter in the room together. We came down, they brought her down. Some kind of way they didn't bring him down. And the next thing we asked the officer there, where was R.Kelly? He was like, he's supposed to be on his way down, but he never came down. So we heard that he left. He went out the back door or whatever, he was gone. We was more concerned about our daughter at that time. We talked to her. She put on the show for us, you know, hey, this is my career. He called me, you know, this is what it was. He asked me for an audition. I was like, yeah, but you know, you only supposed to win without telling one of us, period. I mean, we already talked about who he was, his background on the way home. When she told us that he gave her his number after the show, when she went on stage and sung for him. So, you know, after that,
she went to the show with you and your wife. She went on stage and sung for him. He gave her his number in front of y'all. Y'all had no idea that they started a relationship that Sunday. Y'all went to the hotel, asked for R.Kelly. But they told y'all nobody was there under that name. Y'all went door to door knocking. The police was called. Security was called. But immediately they went and found your daughter in a room with R.Kelly. They brought her down, and then he went through the back door.
we talked to her, went home. And then, which we didn't know, that they had already had a sexual intercourse that day. We found out a year later.
Your daughter was 17 years old.
18.
Hey, Granny, no, I'm going by what Angelo is saying right here. This is what he's saying. This ain't nothing that nobody else said. This is what Angelo is saying.
She was 17 in Kissimmee.
We have to wrap up this segment of our interview, Angelo, but we're going to do part 2 and put it online at democracynow.org. But you have said that you don't think this could continue if these children weren't black girls and young women. Can you explain as we end with this comment?
I think the comment was just straight blunt that if the females was Caucasian, this would have been, it wouldn't have been to this amount of women or young girls, kids, or anything. It'll stop at 1, maybe 2 tops. I think in the black community that we want heroes, and we so scared to demolish somebody because of the good they make us feel with whatever talent they have, that we don't want to be the one to say, hey, we got to destroy him. And I think this is why it really drug on as long as it did, and he was so successful at getting away with it. But I really believe that, like now, with more people understanding that. I don't think
Angela,
it's a
Clara,
black
we have to
or
leave
white.
it there, but we're going to continue the discussion in part 2. People can go online at democracynow.org. I mean,
so that was that part. But let's listen to what Cash say.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
And my other phone, I don't know why, but my reception is terrible up here.
Saying that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But, no, I just found it weird, because I was like, wait a minute, what did you just say? I'm like, why would you be seeing Joy? And he was like, oh, well, you know, he was like, you know, both of the girls. I was like, no. I said, you told me Asriel and Joy wasn't getting along, and that's why you couldn't help Joy, because Asriel told you all type of nasty shit that fucking Joy did to her, and that she wasn't fucking with Joy.
So what was supposed to have been so nasty but that Joy did to Asriel?
I don't know, supposedly she used to snitch on her or some shit.
But if you ain't doing nothing fucked up, what is that a snitch to?
Exactly. So I don't know. Because Kel's Nation told me, I don't know who the fuck Kel's Nation is, but Kel's Nation told me.
Is Demetria Felder and your boy, Fat Man Scoop?
Okay, well, Kel's Nation told me that the reason that Asriel was the one on the visitation list and not Joy was not because she was his favorite. It was because he didn't trust her.
He didn't trust Joy?
Asriel. They said it's a lot of shit that people don't know. This is what they told me in my DM. They ain't put it publicly. They said it's a lot of stuff that people don't know. And they was like, Asriel was not the one on that visitation list because she was his favorite. She was on that list because he didn't trust her. And he felt like he needed to keep his eye on her.
That sounds like something Donna said.
Well, maybe it is fine. I don't know. Must be pretty difficult for Don to sit there and talk to me all the time. And I had that explosion on him, though. If that is him.
Well, when you make yourself a third party, it's not.
True. True.
And when you want to do shit to keep somebody close, you better not be guilty.
True. Because I remember the last time that Don emailed me. I was like, call me, your number changed. I called, and he was just like, you know, is this number going to stay the same? You keep changing your number. He was like, I need a number for you. Like, I need one. I'm like, why the fuck do you need a number for me? Because I'm like, at this point, this nigga locked up. We ain't really got shit to talk about. So, the fuck you need a number for me for?
Again, I think my problem was when everybody was talking, me block Levi, Angelo. We always talk on the phone because me and Sylvia was at the farmer's market. Then I was like, yo, if there's anybody that I settle down with out of all this, it'll be Cash. So then Angela was like, yeah, yo, she a real good person, yo. And she went through a dude fucking her over and all this shit. Yo, I think y'all two will make a real good couple, yo. I'm going to put a word in for you.
He mentioned you, of course, but definitely not like that. Because he was like, are you going to break it to him? That was his energy. You going to tell him that's mine? You going to break it to him? I'm like, shut up. He found it funny. I think Taylor got a little crush on you now. Yeah, he brought it up. It's Angelo for you. That is Angelo for you. Because you know, he had... I ain't even gonna go there. But when he felt like me and Block were talking, he sent people to tell Block not to talk to me, ever. Which was funny.
He sent people like who?
His partner in crime.
Larry?
Mm-hmm.
So Block don't talk to you no more?
I mean, we never really were. That's the point.
Right.
When he thought.
I'm trying to figure out, like...
That's what I'm saying. When he thought. Because he was like, oh, because I know he gets tired. You know? I know. But I'm like, yo, what's up with you? Like, but one thing about it, I don't know if this nigga be listening to my phone calls. I don't know if Angelo has hacked into my phone. Like, he be knowing stuff he should not know. And I don't understand how he knows certain things. Because they're things that I just don't understand how he knows.
Well, I know Block was tight with him, and then Levi got close with him too, and I pulled away from that shit.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
And when Angelo made that comment, didn't know that I was watching that whole fucking live, he said, oh, Dana really don't fuck with us like that. Dana talk to us once in a blue moon. Right, I don't fuck with y'all.
But the funny thing is, he tells a different story because he said he don't fuck with you. Gotta watch you, stuff like that. See, Angelo play a lot of fucking games. He really do.
He don't fuck with who?
You! Like, he'll talk to you every once in a while or whatever, but he really ain't, you know, too, whatever. That's why I said, I don't know if Larry know that he be doing him like that too. Because he be like, well, I ain't got nothing to do with what you're doing. Like, you know, I don't know what's up with him. I don't, you know, he all friendly with the feds and shit. I don't know what the fuck going on with that nigga. Like, that's how he plays shit off. When he really do be talking to the people. So anybody this nigga say he don't talk to, more than likely he talks to.
That nigga used to call my phone every fucking day. I got screenshots.
I believe you. I believe you. You don't even have to say, I 100% believe you. Because I watch how Angelo moves. Like, over time, I really get it now. I see how he's doing things. The only part of this I can't stand, now don't get me wrong, I hate the fact that he's done me the way he's done me, but I care about Rob. I really do. And I don't like this. Especially the way it's looking like this was really a setup all along with him and his fucking daughter. That shit got me hot. I don't like the way they moving. I don't like the way this bitch acting. I just don't like it. Now, if I'm wrong, and this shit he was doing to this girl that I don't know about, then, hey, I can't speak on that because I was not present for what the fuck they went through. But I still don't like the way the shit looks, because it looks like it's funny shit going on. Period.
And then it's funny because Tyrese asked me a question. Tyrese was like, Dana, why was Holly on that shit? I said, I don't know. He said, nah, I ain't trying to hear that shit. The whole time, she telling me that she loved Rob and that she don't want it to happen, but then she popped up on that bullshit.
Because maybe Sudi done made them really think. Because you know how Sudi was talking. Like, she was trying to be fair and all of this bullshit. You know, we really want to be fair this time. You know, we want to show the other side. We want to talk to people who really support Rob. You wanted to talk to him, but you didn't want to talk to him so it could help. I don't know. But Azriel and Angelo, that's a huge ass question mark. But I ain't told nobody else that about them being in Atlanta at the same time them people was there. But they were.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
What happened?
I just got a text.
What happened?
Dana, stay the fuck out of it. Here comes the lawsuits from Diane.
Diane? What?
Oh shit.
I don't understand what's going on.
Hold on, let me find. I'm gonna call you back.
All right, bro.
So, when you have people who talks out the side of their neck all the time, you just sit back and let them talk. So, I still want to know how the media, she would not talk about Dawn Ruffles on Beardbug Channel. Oh no, she might not. He's not going to allow nobody to talk about Dawn. That's their dude. Hey, can y'all get them likes up, y'all? Thank you, I appreciate it. So, I want to know, how did the media help R. Kelly? So I'm going to take a break. Take a break real quick. Play a little song. And then we going to jump right into it. Okay? 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 Okay. Let's go there.
Sometimes, girls get lonely too. Sometimes, girls get schedule hectic, my love life, I'm neglected, not a fast car, but a record, plenty chances to fall in love with, so many weekends I went to close late, in the fast lane, my life's a picture flick, let my drink decide who's the next chick, I ain't no lie, playing hypnotic to me, she says she love me, but it's just chit-chatting to me, but deep inside I was always missing something, but on my thoughts I'm always on something, so many girls always drinking and having fun, life's a beauty shop and I keep my head down, sitting back a little merry-go-round, and I make the girl wanna settle down. Sometimes, girls get lonely too. I get lonely too. I feel sometimes, girls get lonely too. I do too, and you know I do. Settle down with you, baby, you and me, yeah. Life that's brand new. Quit running me street, take away your pain, chase away the rain, walk my love down. I might even change my name. Sometimes, girls get lonely too. I get lonely too. Sometimes, girls get lonely too. I do too, and you know I do. VIP, I will be always in the spotlight, living the good life. All of that something still just ain't right. Videos and all of these interviews, all I really want is to be next to you. I spend more time with my car now, let other Hollywood sign. I'm a star now, the life is more than the clouds and the walls. It gets lonely when I can't ignore. Always in the streets going hardcore. I spend a couple of G's when I'm bored. Sometimes girls get lonely too. I do too. I do. Sometimes girls get lonely too. I do too, and you know I do. Nights with lonely, nights with birds, glasses, nights.
Let's go there. Let's go there. Let's go there. All right. It says how the media helped R. Kelly. For decades, journalists ignored allegations of abuse. And is written by Alexandra Nelson from CJR. Evidence has been accumulating against R. Kelly for decades. Jim Darigayas, a music journalist and critic, first reported in 2000 on allegations that Kelly was sexually abusing minors. In 2002, Darigayas broke the story. Darigayas broke the story of a now infamous sex tape that Kelly made with a 15-year-old girl. It led to 14 child pornography charges. Kelly was acquitted of all. And in 2017 story for BuzzFeed, he reported on teen girls being held by Kelly at a house in Atlanta as part of an alleged sex cult. All the while, Kelly has enjoyed a lucrative charm career. He performed at the opening ceremony of the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. The same year, The Best of Both Worlds, a joint album he released with Jay-Z, was certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, which we know as RIAA. He received a wide critical acclaim and would go on to release another 9 albums. 6 of them went platinum. In January, filmmaker Dream Hampton released Surviving R. Kelly, a documentary that included new accounts from women who said they had been victims of the singer's abuse. The film prompted a wave of negative attention on Kelly, and he was arrested a month later on 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual assault, to which he pleaded not guilty. He will likely stand trial in Cook County, Illinois next year. In July, Kelly was federally indicted in Chicago and Brooklyn on 13 and 5 counts respectively. The charges range from production and transportation of child pornography across state lines to sexual abuse and bribing witnesses. He remains in federal custody in Illinois. But time out. They said this didn't have nothing to do with that. Well, I have to call Larry and everybody else a lie. Because it clearly says the film prompted a wave. The film prompted a wave of negative attention on Kelly, and he was arrested a month later on 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual assault, which means that film had a lot to do with R. Kelly being locked up. Press coverage of Kelly has now taken an apparently scathing and confrontational tone. In March, CBS's Gayle King interviewed Kelly, pressing him to explain why, despite decades of allegations of abuse of underage girls that he vehemently denies, he would continue to surround himself with teenagers and young women. At one point, Kelly began to yell and cry, swinging his arms as he stood over Gayle King, who did not flinch. This journalistic tenacity represents a new normal until Hampton's film. The press was largely content to assume a passive role, giving Kelly magazine covers, features, and positive music reviews, despite the accusations swirling around him. In 1994, shortly after the singer married Aaliyah, then 15 years old, matter of fact, in which we know that he never married Aaliyah, Bob ran a cover story titled Super Freak on Kelly. The piece included a photo of the marriage license but otherwise treated the matter like an unconfirmed rumor, which it was. The author writes that she wants to question Kelly about his relationship with a teenager, but she never does. As recently as 2016, GQ ran a cover story on Kelly that addressed allegations that he had pursued minors, but also included entertaining gimmicks alongside, such as a video in which Kelly, clad in a red leather jacket and sunglasses, sings the story of his life. Now, the press is being criticized for its history of generous treatment. In January, Bill Wyman, an arts writer, took the New York Times to task for its role in setting an industry norm of soft coverage that either glossed over Kelly's history of abuse or ignored it outright. Keith Murphy, a music journalist who wrote the liner notes for Kelly's Greatest Hits album, apologized for his complicity in a piece for BET. Like many others in a business that overlooked such problematic issues, as long as the product was bringing in flush monetary rewards and the media stayed indifferent, I knowingly cashed a check, Murphy wrote. My lauding flowery words, R. Kelly stands today a man triumphant, were used to elevate a gifted yet clearly troubled artist who long ago should have faced repercussions for his distinctive monstrous behaviors. As journalists, we often deceive ourselves into believing that it is not our place to make moral judgments, that we merely let the public decide how to feel. This tends to be particularly true of critics, who have historically seen their role as offering critiques of the art, not appraisals of the human beings behind it. But our editorial decisions, whose album gets attention, whose face appears on the cover, not only reflect but also form public opinion. To understand how Kelly's story was handled by journalists at the time and the particular challenges it posed for the black press, I spoke with Dirt Adams, a longtime music writer, podcast host, and author of the now defunct hip-hop blog Poisonous Paragraphs. Naima Cochran, a music writer and former marketing and management executive at Bad Boy. Arista, Columbia, and Epic. Columbia and Epic fall under Sony Music Entertainment, as does Jive, Kelly's longtime label. He was recently dropped, and David Dennis Jr., a music writer and an adjunct professor of journalism at Morehouse College, their answers have been edited for length of clarity. Were you surprised when the stories about R. Kelly first came out? Naima, Jim Duraga's stuff was still very local when the news first broke. But I remember how much information people were ignoring. I have to side-eye anybody who acts like they're shocked, because it was an open secret. It was something we talked about. There was gossip. Some people called him Dirty Rob. There are always girls around the studio. My sister went to high school in Chicago, so I would hear stories about the McDonald's. It was a known thing. Kelly was known to hang out at a McDonald's in Chicago near his former high school, where he allegedly used to pick up underage girls. Dirt Adams. In the music industry, we hear stories or rumblings, but it takes years before it gets out. With R. Kelly between 1996 and 1999, I was hearing that he wasn't the guy everybody thinks he is. So when the tape finally came out, it wasn't as shocking for me as it was for the general public. I was like, oh, he definitely guilty. And even worse things are on the horizon. David Dennis. I think that after Derek Goddard broke the initial story, there were a lot of black women journalists who were beating the drum of, like, let's really discuss this R. Kelly situation. But it's about who we listen to as journalists. In 2001, if a black woman had gathered evidence about R. Kelly, would we have paid attention to it? If a black woman goes after R. Kelly, how is the story different? I think it's about who we're listening to. A black woman might be immediately dismissed for not sticking with her people, for digging through dirt on a black man to bring him down. What do you remember about the tone of the press coverage during Kelly's trial in 2008? Adams. The way it was covered was he's going to face charges. It wasn't necessarily that we were riding with him, but there wasn't anybody except for a few people here and there speaking against him. The writing was just covering the facts. After he didn't get locked up, everybody had to say, well, it looks like we're just going to have to ride with R. Kelly because people love R. Kelly. I don't think people ever felt like we needed to keep R. Kelly around or preserve his name. But journalism is a business. Are you going to take a stand and not cover him? You're going to chance a backlash or lose revenue. The people who went out there on that limb would do an op piece or something in a field where you have to get work from all different places to survive. Nobody is well off enough to say whatever they want about anything. Dennis. The trial was farcical. I don't think that there was enough nuanced discussion about what was really going on. In popular culture at the time, there was a lot of comedy around it. There was the Chappelle Show skits. There was the Boondock skit similar to the O.J. Simpson trial. There was a lot of satire about the case. The low-hanging fruit of the comedy of urination. That was the overlying discussion, and there were conversations about what makes a child, not necessarily within journalism spaces, but definitely within cultural spaces. The Boondocks episode touched on that. Why can't a 15 or 16-year-old girl get herself out of that situation? We didn't have enough discussion about the manipulation, about the actual fact that this is rape and sexual assault, that these are minors, about how we look at black girls as grown even when they're in their teens. Were people talking about boycotting Kelly's music? Cochran. When the Aaliyah facts came out, I'm not going to call them allegations. It was scandalized and salacious. But it wasn't like we were counseling him. There really wasn't such a thing yet. Right. The only person black people had ever full out counseled by the mid-90s, remember, was O.J. Simpson. And even that wasn't complete. I can't think of a time it's happened before the last decade. I can't remember a time that it's been a conversation. I can't remember a time that there was a moral outcry about supporting an artist financially because of their personal decisions. There were too many instances of artists having personal lives that conflicted with the music that we loved about them. I think R. Kelly is actually the first time that we really had to have this conversation. We kind of did it with Michael Jackson, but it wasn't really a decision. His music was falling off as the scandal got bigger. So it was very easy to say, Mike's too weird. We're not dealing with him anymore. Hello? What, you need some stuff in there? Alright, well, come get it. Mike's too weird. We're not dealing with him anymore. Adams, nobody talked about boycotting Kelly except for a few people here and there. They were mostly women in the Chicago area who had an idea of what he'd been doing for years. You couldn't be super vocal or critical of R. Kelly early on because so many publications really relied on covering him. Because he was not only a hit maker, but also a producer for people that made hits. And on top of that, you want their record labels to continue to buy ad space in your magazine. This was the era where the money dried up from the auto and fashion industries that would actually buy ad pages. So you had to rely on labels and weren't going to cut off your nose to spite your face and lose access to anybody who you could put on the cover. Hold on. I'm not looking at what y'all are saying because I'm reading this. Dennis, the more famous or popular you are, the more you're able to get away with. The lower on the social ladder your victim is, the more you're able to get away with. So you have somebody like R. Kelly who is a huge star, and he's also doing this to black women. So he can get away with more. People are less likely to to really reckon with the problems of people who they're fans of. Okay, I'm going to stop right there because I'm already an hour and 35 minutes in. I'm going to come back with part 2 of this, and we're going to finish this out. So, it's now 3:54. I'll be back at 5 o'clock. Hey, Purple. I'll be back at 5 o'clock, and we're going to finish part 2 of this. Hold on. Who is it? Really?
Hi. Hey, Big Bunny.
Hey, what's going on?
What's wrong?
Nothing. Hold on.
Did you bag up the baby?
What?
Did you bag it up?
What?
The baby?
What baby?
The baby you showed me the picture.
No,
the cat.
No, it's over there. By the dumpster. I ain't touching them. Because I'm mad.
I ain't even see it. No.
Look. When you go that way.
Hello? I'm sorry you had the wrong number.
When you go that way, and matter of fact, when you hit that right, look this way to the left. Are you coming back? You're not? I want to see you today. I want to see you later today. Sorry about that. I'll be back at 5 o'clock. I'm going to do it at 5. So I'm going to leave this here, and we're going to continue this at 5 o'clock. And it's going to be part 2 to this. Because when I last recall, oh my God, this is a whole lot more. Ooh. So, you know what? Let's finish this out. Forget that. Let's finish this out. Hold on. I'm going to go through my lunch. Forget it. Let's finish this out. We don't got to wait till 5 o'clock. Let's go there. What challenges did the black press encounter when covering Kelly? Uh-oh. Let's go there. Adam said black publications have covered black artists who are in trouble with the law or facing charges differently. For the most part, because they know that the mainstream media is going to treat those artists like they are already guilty. Let me read that again. Black publications have covered black artists who are in trouble with the law or facing charges differently. For the most part, because they know that the mainstream media is going to treat those artists like they're already guilty. When Snoop Dogg had his charges back in the day, when Puff was charged, when James Brown kept going to jail, when Rick James was on trial, generally, black media has treated artists who have been charged with something more forgivingly because they feel they have to, because they're the only people that are going to do it. Cochran said, I don't know if black media has ever been truly critical of black artists. Part of what is happening is that we're trying to course correct from feeling like we had to be a safe space for these artists, for their music to get love, and for them to have their project elevated. Thank you so much, Purple Purple. And for their project elevated and not relegated to a little blurb bird deep inside the magazine. If you read articles on R.Kelly from back then, even if they are stating the facts about the case or writing about his marriage to Aaliyah, they wouldn't fully condemn. The article would give Kelly a chance to voice his opinion. It is still him on the cover, and publicity for him rather than an indictment. The trick with black media is that once black artists become really huge, we're fighting to hold access to them because they start going to mainstream outlets. They get teams that don't take black media as serious. So it's challenging to be critical of an important artist because you need that access. Whenever a black figure who has gone mainstream is in trouble, they come back to the black community. They come back to black media. They come back to the black church. They come back because they want to go someplace that's safe. That's our fault. It's what is great about us, but it's also our fault. The thought is that even if the world condemns me, you guys are going to show me love. The medium of blogging took off as Kelly was awaiting trial. How did that change reporting on Kelly? Cochran said, when black media first became a thing, there were publications that were specifically focused on black entertainers. There was Right On and Word Up. And then Bob came along. When these publications started, they were specifically for black entertainers. Their role was to, I think, reflect the taste and reflect it broadly so that there was a destination for black people to go to find their artists. Music journalism, period, is at a bit of a crossroads right now because blogs have a lower bar of entry into writing. Music journalism isn't necessarily professional trained. It's becoming all about access and not about proper reporting. Adam said, things changed when we got to the blog era. around 2005, 2006. If you wrote for a publication, your magazine would come out once a month, while other writers were posting and commenting as soon as the music comes out. So everybody who worked at a major publication was reading blogs. Nah, right? Two dope boys. They're on XXL blogs because they have to be. In terms of being a tastemaker, mainstream publications kind of lost that. But in terms of journalism, the people that you look to for integrity and reporting are those at the mainstream publications, especially the black mainstream publications. The only place opinion could shift was smaller publications. You couldn't be super vocal or super critical of R. Kelly early on because so many publications relied on covering him. He's not only a hit maker, but also a producer for people that make hits. On top of that, you want the record label to continue to buy ads in your magazine. It's a recipe for everything staying the status quo. That man generated a whole lot of money for a lot of people. Nobody wanted to be like, I'm not screwing with R. Kelly. What does the press have to apologize for? Adams, there's only one way out. The truth sets you free. Come out and say, we're sorry for what we did. This is why we did it. We did this for these reasons. We were wrong. We apologize. We're not going to continue with this behavior anymore. We're going to look at how we view journalism and how we cover artists. We don't want to be in a situation where we're afraid to talk about issues or what somebody did for fear that the label or the management is going to try to pull all of the other artists off. We are journalists. Dennis, as a society, we were in a different place. I think there is a fear that if people come forward and talk about how they covered R. Kelly, then they are afraid of being counseled. But I would be interested in hearing about how you justified that. I think introspection is especially necessary with R. Kelly. A lot of the defenses of R. Kelly that we get from people now are echoing ideas that were put out in those old articles. It's endangering folks now. How? What do journalism need to do differently to make sure we are never again complicit in the way we have been with R. Kelly? We need to remove ourselves as fans from the equation. Depending on what kind of journalist you are, there has to be some amount of objectivity. If you write a review, that's opinion. But if you're writing about allegations made against somebody, that's actual reporting. If you're going to do that, you have to give it the weight it deserves. Your own opinion notwithstanding. I think that's people's own voice and color often came through a little too much with R. Kelly stories. I'll add that R. Kelly didn't make it easy because he stopped doing interviews after the Torre interview, where he was asked if he likes teenage girls. Dennis, there was a belief that as objective journalists, we needed to cover the art separate from the artist. But as we've come to learn, you cannot separate the art and the artist. R. Kelly had underage girls in the studio with him as his muses. What? While he was making these songs, R. Kelly was writing about a relationship with these girls. What? You have him ghostwriting lyrics for a 15-year-old girl whom he married. So the belief that we are separating the art from the artist was a cop-out. It's an archaic way of thinking that allowed journalists to get their views or sell their copies of the magazine without having to deal with the issues at hand. When you write about Kanye West and his music, you write about the other stuff that's going on. If you review an album, you're going to talk about his marriage to Kim Kardashian. You're going to talk about his children. Talk about the Trump stuff. And you're going to use that to frame the music. So I don't understand how R. Kelly's trial was not allowed to frame the writing about his music. That's the defining characteristic of him, and thus the defining characteristic of the music. Wow. Wow. So it's safe to say what everybody has been trying to say is what they've been getting from these writers. That's crazy to lie on somebody like that. So basically, Rob been going through that for a great while. Yeah, the blog era did change things. Some were very critical of him back then. You right? Press don't owe people an apology. In this case, they do. And I think the press should give people an apology for the lies they put out. They're not supposed to be fans in the first place. Facts. Like Shade Room Baller Alert and other sites. Yep. I bet not even one of those people who are claiming to do research ever pulled the transcripts from his first trial to actually read why he was acquitted. Facts. Bullcrap. Shaking my head. Yep. They should have used the real journalistic facts and not put out false advertising. Why? Because they all can be sued, and Bull Cosby and Tiger Woods are coming for them all along. Yep. Who wrote the article? I forgot. I already took it off my screen, but I can send it to you. None of these folks who are so-called journalists don't make any sense. That's a lie. His trial didn't start yet, but they won't report he's a pre-trial detainee. I bet you they won't report that. The media lied too. Yes. Makes no sense. Lies right. Not adding up. Facts. That's what I've been saying. Yep. Okay, now Yonder. Nothing. Yeah. Alright. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. They should apologize for the. Yep. I'll be back at 6. And we're gonna go ahead and end it. And we're gonna go ahead and finish this out. And we're gonna end it at 6, okay? So y'all be blessed. I'll be back at 6. Alright. 1.
What you gonna do now? Hope you're ready, 'cause I'm really about to